And the camera, I think I'm the one who's traveled along throughout the film.
The horses.
Horse, of course. I really loved playing this role, and I could relate a lot with Nandi there because he can connect with anyone very easily. And he's got a sense of humor. And he's somebody who will get into a trouble and then think about how to come out of it. He doesn't think before getting into it. So he's that kind of a person who's all life, he wants food, he likes girls, he has big dreams. So all that was very easy to connect. But the difficult part was meeting the girls, all the women, because each time there's a very different equation, the way he relates to each woman in the film. And that I think Manisha really helped. I think my understanding of that scene would completely change. Go and start shooting with Manisha. So for example, there was a scene where I meet Nandini, Aishwarya Rai in the first film. There's a dialogue where I say it with a smile. Manisha said, "Don't smile." I said, "Sir, why, sir?" He said, "No, I want Nandini to think that you're intelligent. So I want you to suppress your feeling and say that line like, I know what you're thinking, so don't worry, I will not do that mistake." He completely changed the graph of my character. So he was always with me, helping me out. Like even when I'm meeting Kundavai, he would make sure that, he's himself a prince. Vandiyathevan is a prince, but he doesn't have a kingdom. So he cannot let himself down. He will always hold himself high, even though she's the greatest empire's princess. So those are small understandings which Manisha gave me, which changed my performance. So they had Manisha's help throughout. And of course, action, I always enjoy doing action. And when Ravi is there, we enjoyed even more because I'll get rest when he's fighting, and he'll take rest when I'm fighting. And when I'm acting with Vikram sir, there's so much I could admire when he's doing the Crown Prince. Now we've seen Vikram sir act, we've seen how he will transform on screen, but I'm getting to see him on person, and the way Manisha established their friendship in just one shot was also beautiful. We never get to see them being friends, but in just one shot, they are very good friends. I think throughout, I would say really Manisha helped me out.
How do you keep all the promises, sir?
All that?
How do you keep all the promises?
It's hard to speak.
ಸರ್ ರವಿಕುಮಾರ್ ETV ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇಂದ ವಿಕ್ರಮ್ ಸರ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪೊನ್ನಿಯಿನ್ ಸೆಲ್ವನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2 3 ಗಂಟೆ 50 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೋಬ್ಬರಿ 4 ಗಂಟೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ?
The part 1 is around 3 hours. So part 2 will be around 4 hours.
10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಕಡಿಮೆ 3 ಗಂಟೆ 50 ನಿಮಿಷ
3 hours 50 minutes. The duration of the movie will be 3 hours 50 minutes. It's 2 hours 50 minutes. 2 hours 50 minutes.
First one 2 hours 50 minutes is it?
Yeah. Even the part 2 is he's saying that part 1 was around 2 hours 50 minutes. Even the part 2 is around 3 hours 50 minutes. He's asking. No, it's around 2 hours 50 minutes. How the audience will stay till...
No, like how they saw the first part. This is a shorter version than the first part. And
he thought it's around 4 hours. He thought...
not 4 hours. The books are many books, but the movies are 2 hours.
Hi sir. ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಬ್ರೋ.
ಸರ್ ಈ ಮಲ್ಟಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಬ್ಬ ಆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು?
மல்டிஸ்டார் நடிக்கிறதுல ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் தேங்க்யூ சார். புரியும், பேசதான் வராது. ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்ட் இல்லை சார், எதுவும் இல்லை சார். ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்ட்லாம் இல்லை.
கொஞ்ச நேரம் முன்னாடி இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சர்ஸ் மீட்ல அழுதாரு, ஏன்னா எங்களை விட்டு பிரிய முடியலன்னு அழுதாரு. He cried. And now he's saying there's no plus point. It's okay.
அண்ணா,
your weakness is our plus point.
பஞ்சு ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்ட் இல்லை சார், எல்லாமே ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்ட் தான் சார். ஒரு ப்ளஸ் பாயிண்ட் இல்லை. ஏன்னா நான் கார்த்தி சொன்ன மாதிரி நான் நினைச்ச மாதிரி என்னன்னா நான் பார்த்துருப்போம் இல்லையா, அவரோட பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் பார்த்துருப்போம். நேரில் பார்க்கும்போது unconsciously you will get to learn something, and better than that, consciously you get to unlearn something. That is the best part of a multi-star, I think. Now you will consciously you will leave your எப்படி சொல்றது, ஒரு பேட் ஹேபிட்ஸ் விடுற மாதிரி பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ்ல ஏதாவது நமக்கு ஒரு தப்பு நமக்கே இருக்கிறது தெரிய வரும். அப்போ அது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா இட் வில் கோ ஆஃப். And to interact with good minds, good actors is a gift. You will never get it otherwise. Only in parties or அந்த மாதிரி தான். அப்போ கூட we will ஏதோ சம்பந்தம் இல்லாத ஒரு டாபிக் we will talk. What we spoke. We just want to spend time together. But when you act, you are so put together in one space, one creative space where you can exchange everything. That will happen only on a shooting spot. And for that particular movie, for that particular scene, it's even greater. So the knowledge, transference of knowledge is amazing. And the bond that is created through that process is unforgettable.
ಲೋಕೇಶ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸರ್. ಹಾಯ್ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಮಣಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಈಗ PS1 PS2 ಆಗಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾತ್ರ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜಂಜಾಟ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ. ಸೊ PS1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಜನಿ ಸರ್ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಮಣಿ ಸರ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾಗಳಿಂದ ನಾಯಕನಿಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗಲಿ. ಮತ್ತು ನೀವು ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಬಂದಾಗ?
Definitely, because எங்களுக்குள்ள ஒரு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் இருக்கு. both of us லைக் அவர் வந்து எப்பவுமே மணி சார் ஒன் ஆஃப் தோஸ் ரேர் டைரக்டர்ஸ் வந்து நடிச்சு காட்ட மாட்டார். he will just come and he will explain, like how Karthi said. So the way he says it, immediately it will strike a chord somewhere and you start doing something else. So he and I don't know, I think one of the best understandings for me with a director. So once Ravanan, the thing is 10 characters. So each character, each time we do a scene, he'll say இந்த character மாதிரி பண்ணி பாருங்க, இப்போ இவன் வந்து ரொம்ப வீக்கா பண்ணி பாருங்க, இவன் வந்து ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ராங், இவன் வந்து ரொம்ப கோமா. So ஒவ்வொரு தடவை we'll try a different character. So I practiced all that with him and we had an understanding. Like so even sometimes he'll come and say, hey, what you not? I said, yeah, you said to do this. No, like we'll be sometimes talking like you asked me to do this. No, yes sir, but you didn't explain properly. So he said, hey, I explained, you do it. And I thought it. So it's very nice when you talk to him, and he's a very suddenly he'll be short-tempered. So but he's a genius. So I just love that little thing, that banter we have and working with him. And I think he brings out the best in any actor. And it's every actor's dream in the South or in India to work with him sometime. Just an example, somebody asked whether as multi-starers or whether Trisha was okay or Ravi was okay. There are 14, almost every actor in the movie is a hero or a heroine or has been. Right from Babu Anthony, Jayam, Parthiban sir, everybody has been a hero. Rahman, everybody, Pongali, everybody is a heroine. They are working in films as heroines. But they come why? In a movie with so many characters, mainly of course Kalki, and you want to be a part of this project. And like Ravi said, we get inspired by the other actors, but at the same time, I think we all felt, none of us felt at this time that, okay, I want this film to be a blockbuster for me. It's like we felt we are part of something really large, a larger picture. And again, I come to Kantara, like see, Rishabh really touched me in that. I feel in that movie, every actor would have felt, every role, I want to do it. Likewise, all of us. And he calls us again, we'll again come and do this. That is what he did for us.
Thank you, sir. Karthi sir. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ LCU ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಲೋಕೇಶ್ ಸಿನಿಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್, ಈಗ MCU ಆಗಿದೆ ಮಣಿರತ್ನಂ ಸರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆಸ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ.
I know Mani sir is thinking of something in that zone, but I cannot tell you that.
Sorry, அங்க ladies ரெண்டு பேர். Awesome.
லோகேஷ் கேட்டுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம்
my question is Trisha ma'am. Characters in various South Indian movies. What I feel is Kundavai stands little different because of her hairstyle, the accessories she uses, and even in Karnataka, a lot of females got it done with the same look, and it was trending and viral as well. So my question is, how did you Did you do any research as such about the look of Kundavai? So what do you have to say on this?
I didn't have to do any research because day one when I walked into Mani sir's office, there was a whole load of researching that was already taking place and had been done. And Eka and her team, I mean, I have to credit them for the look, for working hard. And we worked for 6 months prior to filming. And so we had enough of time to experiment. I mean, the bun, I think took about 3 months to, fix because we didn't know how to do it and it has to be done.
Not every day, just the idea, right?
Just the idea, yeah. Once we fixed it, it was fine. No. But it took 3 months to get that. We tried a small bun, it wouldn't sit, and then medium, and then large.
Okay.
And we've used different sizes. Like for a coronation scene, Sir wanted a little more of a queen look, a princess look. And for like the romantic scenes, he wanted a shorter bun. And like you said, I mean, so many people have played princesses, but this is so special to me because I loved playing dress up. It was fun. And it touched me beyond anything when I saw so many people, starting from like children to, adults, posting reels to me, tagging me. I mean, I'm just wondering, I was like cribbing here and there because we were shooting. I'm like, these people just did it just because they loved the role and they wanted to like show it to me. So it's definitely one of my top 5 most favorite characters I've played.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have to say one of my top 5, no? Other yeah.
Yeah, hi. This is actually Jemima here, and this is for all of you. My question is that these are all literary characters, and what was your point of reference? I mean, like you were saying that before you walked in, every research was done. But in terms of approaching the character, for instance, did you read anything else other than Kalki? I mean, did Kalki's Ponniyin Selvan, or did you read Ponniyin Selvan at that point or before? All of you actually. At what point did you want, like you were saying that you wanted to play Karikal and Vikram. So at what point did you...
For me, it's like, when I was young, I've heard stories. I hadn't read it then. I was always fascinated with Karikal, and I was under the impression that he burnt his leg. Kari is coal and Kal is leg. So as a child, I used to think he burnt his leg, and that's why they call him Karikal, and so he's a tough guy. So I started thinking I wanted to be him. So later I got to know that's not the story. And my mother used to narrate the story to me. And then later when I was doing this, when Manisa approached me, all of us, I think, we all read the book. And once you read the book, you kind of understand. It's like you envision something, like anyone. I mean, all of you all will have, like let's say there are about 100 people here. If you read the story, you'll have 100 different versions of Aditya Karikala. You understand? So like that, I had a version. Manisa had a vision. And always you judge the director. His decision is final. So he had this vision. And mine kind of was in sync with that. And we worked towards that. And the difficult part was the language we speak, we didn't want to speak archaic Tamil which no one understood. At the same time, we can't speak normal Tamil. So we spoke something midway. But the idea is it was still Sen Tamil. It's not the Tamil we speak. It is proper chase Tamil. But the idea was to speak it like you would say, hey, hi, just get me that stuff. I'll keep it here. What are you doing? I'll meet you later. That was the way we say it. It's not a hey. Sit down. So that was the problem I felt. I think most of the actors must have felt. Trying to be normal with that language, wearing that figure, actually being a prince or a princess, wearing armor or wearing jewelry, doing your hair, and then going and performing. There is a different body language. Like there's this particular scene where I had to walk and come. I thought I did a great job. Manisa said, one more. And they said, can I see the don't see the monitor. I saw it and I was like walking like some guy out of college. Like, it was not princely at all. Then I realized, oh, there to guide us through that. And my point of view.
Did you anything else other than that to sort of like, get into the region and the history of the time? Not just, anything else?
I'm answering your question. So, for me, the difficulty was, it's a 3,000-page book which is compressed into a 300-page script. So, for example, Vandiyathevan meets Kundavai multiple times before they can speak to each other. But whereas in the movie, I'm meeting her only once. But all that has been written so far in the book has to be transpired in that one meeting. So unless you read the book and take in all that Vandiyathevan carries all through, you cannot represent the right Vandiyathevan. So I had to go back to the book and not just stick to the script. I had to go back and read the scene from the book once and again on the script and then come to the scene. So Mani said the first thing, if I raise my voice, he would say, did you read the book or the script? He would say. He said, stop reading the book. You have to stick to the script. So then, since my character is the only person who's traveling through the kingdom and is meeting everybody else, I somehow felt I had to understand a common man's point of view in 10th century. There are no accounts of common lives anywhere in the history. So I had to read travelogues. I had to read Silappatikaram where there are accounts of common man's lives. For example, there is one reference where Kovalan and Kannagi, if you read the book, Kovalan and Kannagi, they go from Pumbahar to Madurai in search of a livelihood. And they're crossing a river. Just before they cross the river, there is an account, because it's written in 4th century, there is an account where they say people stand and pray to the river before they cross it. Because the river was the life source for everybody. And that one thing stuck to my mind, and when we were shooting the song, I told this to Mani sir and he made me do that. So there were a lot of references from history and poetry also to prepare for this character. That's my effort. I don't know how successful I was in bringing it on screen, but I did read through a lot of it.
Hi sir. Sir, this is Madan from TV9 Digital. I would like to know that what were the reactions you received when PS1 released from the younger generation audience, because they usually think that history is boring when we study, you know. So for me, this film, these kind of films matters because they pass the information to the next generation. So on this aspect, what kind of reactions you received?
I think the craziest crowd was the younger generation in the theatre, and the very old people who've never been to theatres for almost 20 years or 30 years. They came in wheelchairs and they were carried into the theatre. They were the ones. And you see if you just check on YouTube, see any of the reviews or reactions, it's all the younger generation who's saying, superb, we love this, this is the kind of thing, history and blah blah. I don't think they'll go to a history class. But they definitely went to the theatre. Manisha made sure that with the popcorn and the Coke, they also had a very good film to watch. And they learned their history.
And in fact, there's so many tours organized in Tamil Nadu where there's an entire journey from Chennai to
from Bangalore one.
There's so many bikers
from
who came to just explore that path to see where the story happened. You know, people have been exploring it. There are so many historical tours happening now, and people are very, very interested to know more about the history. See, this film is only a fiction based on history, but this has created so much interest around the history of the entire India, I would say. People have started taking more interest in history because so much of history we don't know about it, but there is fascinating information there.
Vikram sir. Sir, so few Kannada actors also associate with this movie, like Prakash Rai, Kishore and Aishwarya Rai. Can you throw a few words on them?
Shalom. He's a good friend of all of us. He's a great actor to work with always, and I think his character, I love the scenes with him and Trisha. I think he's already done Dilli with you as, that he was a pair. There's another one where he's a father, no? No, but as a father, but in this, I felt the relationship between you and him was very different because he's ailing, he's not well, and she is someone who's like a son in their relationship. Regarding Kishore, I think is one of those very talented actors who's been, I like, not just him as an actor, he's very intense, but he's also someone who's into earth and into farming and agriculture, and he's someone I've spoken I've not had any scenes with him as such, but when I did meet him, I told him I'm very interested in what you're doing, and I think he's a very, very intense actor and he's good. Aishwarya Rai, I think all of you know, right? And she's great to work with, and I think you'll love her in this film. You'll love her or you'll hate her, but you can't ignore her.
Hey, Vikram and other groups, right? First of all, thank you so much for accepting these roles, right? You are new heroes of old memories and identity and representative of the old memories. So first of all, thanks for myself and Sugan to accepting these roles, right? And then the next question is, since when you're traveling long to this PS1 and PS2, right? And I know Vikram, but you are charming boys, right? So this is a history film, right? So always little serious and also little fun, right? So since you have to change your scope and everything, right? So what you feel, what two things is you feel very difficult to represent the character in Ponniyin Selvan? What you learn, two things as an actor, and give an advice to others who accept the historic films?
It's very difficult to act as a good person, sir. It was very difficult, sir. Yeah, because for a bad guy, you have different emotions. But a good guy has to suppress all the emotions. So for me, it was very difficult to suppress all the emotions, actually. So when I look at somebody, I shouldn't have hate. The look has to be suppressed enough. I don't hate you. I welcome you, kind of a look. I never know how I came up with the look. I think that I've done my job properly from that day, speaking now. So to be pleasant is very difficult. To be that good person, Mani sir gave me, he just injected a lot of emotions in me about the great Rajaraja Chola. So, and I didn't want to, sorry to say, but I didn't want to copy anybody in this particular character, because Shivaji Ganeshan sir has done as Rajaraja Chola. I didn't watch that before the shoot, because if I watch that, I will exactly act like him. I know there is no way that I will be different than him, or I can't even match up to him in 10%. What I did was, I believed in myself, I believed in the script, I believed Mani sir, I believed Kalki, and I believed God that this will be done properly in my own way, and I tried doing it. And that's a belief that I still have, that, find your own way, and that is taking me forward. I think that helped me move all these days. Thank you.
For me, I would say historical films, you need extreme strength. You have to be extremely fit to do a period film, to begin with, to carry the armor, to be able to ride the horse, to do all the action. And the speed which Manisha shoots, what you shoot in 10 days, will be shot in 4 days. So imagine you should be like an athlete to be able to do it. So it's a lot about physical fitness. But apart from that, I think my role was something which so many people wanted to do it. So there is no second thought about it. There will be the fear of doing it right and making sure it comes out well. And one more thing is, when you do a classic something like this, which is written 70 years back, you will be remembered forever. This is the kind of a film where if you're just part of this film, you'll be remembered forever. You become a part of the legacy here. So I think that way we're all blessed. Our identities are very different now. So many people who call me BT, they call me AK and PS. So our identity is a classic film, something like this. So I think we're all blessed, and it's definitely a sheer joy and learning. I would say this film put to test all that I've learned all these years. It definitely tested me as an actor. Thank you.
Hi. Day by day you are looking so young and so beautiful. This question applicable to both Vikram sir also and you. So is there any tips for girls and for boys?
Girls, you are born beautiful. Boys, bathe in donkey's milk every day. If you can find a donkey, it'll help. And of course, makeup helps, and computer graphics. I'm sorry, I'll leave it answering to you.
I think
Sweetest thing to say.
jeans, like good jeans.
Jeans, apart.
And tata party. And I think just be happy, do what you want, don't think too much about what people think, say. It really helps. A lot of how you look is everything that's happening within you internally. And I have come to realize that over the last 5 years. So just stay happy and positive. It's hard, I know, don't take in too much stress, and I don't
As
mind.
you said it, you started looking even more beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last one question.
Sir, Vikram sir.
Request, last one question.
Lokesh, sir.
Sir, Lokesh.
Sir,
Lokesh, 4 questions you asked. Anybody else wants to ask?
Please, yes.
Lokesh, you finish.
Last one
So,
question.
Lokesh, ask. No, Lokesh, ask. Chipavam,
Please
people
pass
are
the
also-
mic.
2 more questions?
Sorry, Lokesh will talk to you later.
No, Lokesh, we ask after the thing, okay? Anybody else?
Hello. My question
Yeah.
is, my question is to Vikram sir.
Yes.
I am compared to Bahubali. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. I don't know this question is. Actually, in particular, we look into the story. It is a fictional story. Actually, Bahubali and Triple R, it is a fictional story. And mostly, the Rajmouli is mostly worked on the character. Just we look into the character, the Mahishmati, and then Bahubali and Katappa. These are all the characters. It's affect to your bones to your hair. And it's the thrilling feel and goosebumps also. So, but it is the real story. And do you believe in that? This is a negative effect to the story because the character are just a copy paste because of this is the real story. So that's why I am questioning. It is a negative effect to audience.
That is, you can create anything you want. By
Yeah.
No, but ours is also fictional. It's based. Oh, you're saying they used our characters in Bahubali?
Yeah.
Oh, that. We'll talk to Rajmouli and get back to you. I didn't know about that, but I enjoyed Bahubali and I loved that film. This is a different film. I think it's how a director wants to present a film. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I just see the larger picture. I think that being the biggest hit of all times in India is because of a reason. He made it that way, that bigness and the way he did it, and that shocked us and took us up. But Mani sir, what he thought is, make it as true to the book as possible, and also he was thinking because it's to do with a lot of our culture, and he wanted to make it as a reference point. Like when you think of Vande Devan, you should think of Karthi. This is what he wears. You think of Aranmoli Varman, you should only think of how he looks. See, here we could have worn a crown, we could have had armor, could have been in gold, and we could have had 100, 2,000 elephants. But what would have happened in reality then? He will be wearing leather. He's also a prince, but he will have leather. If you notice, he wears one outfit. Poor thing, when the Tannila washed, when he's stiff-eyed, he became like this. If you notice, he'll keep on doing that. Say, why? He had only one. He's a crown's prince, but he didn't have a crown. He only has a turban. I am also a prince, but I had only one jewelry, because we wanted to stick to reality. That's Mani sir's idea of it. I think Bahubali worked for that, and Mani sir's worked for this. And they're two very different films. And I don't think we can compare or say that any of our characters was there in Bahubali. I don't think that makes sense. Because I've seen both. It's a very different, with due respects to your... Yes?
Sir, my question is to everyone on the dais. Actually, I want everyone to answer this. So, what are your thoughts about the kind of films that is made in Kannada industry? That is one question. And Trisha ma'am has already done a straight Kannada film with Puneet sir and all three gentlemen on the stage. And what are your thoughts about doing a straight Kannada film?
I would love to. I was supposed to, in fact, work with Puneet before he passed, and I really regret that. And every time I come here, my first thought is him, because we were so excited about that film. It was called Twitva. So yes, if something is challenging, because I loved that script, I loved my character in it. So if something is as challenging as that, and like Vikram said, I mean, cinema is so global these days. Everything is watched by everybody. I would love to do a straight Kannada. I'm very, very open to it. And sorry, your first question was...
What are your thoughts about the recent Kannada films that are being made in recent times?
Hats off. Starting from, I mean, 8 years and Kantara, I watched all of them. Kantara, in fact, twice. Hats off to you guys. I mean, you're making some great cinema, and it's like I said, since it's global, I'm so proud to be part of cinema. It's the right time to be in cinema.
Okay, thank you so much. We are concluding the question answer round. Thank you.
They are yet to answer actually. So Vikram sir, please.
I think you guys are rocking. The moment I saw KGF, I called Prashant and told him he'd done a fantastic job, and we should work sometime in the future. Likewise, I think Rishabh rocked it. It's very difficult to be an actor and to direct and to concentrate in the shoot. It's very difficult. I mean, I've directed some small stories and stuff. It's very difficult to do both. But he did both with such, such skill. And I thought the energy in that movie was beautiful. And I've also watched about 2 or 3 times with my family. And I think your industry, KGF was, I think, the eye-opener for all of us, because your industry is pretty small. But they could have thought, this is the budget, let's do this. But it's not like the first part did well, so let's do better. The first part itself, you decided, let's do something big. That is a vision, and I think that worked. Kantara, on the other hand, was this dark horse that is a good film,
you didn't realize like how good it's going to go, but every state celebrated. Like I said earlier in Tamil, we love that film. I loved especially the last 20 minutes, like hats off to Rishabh and the team. It was beautiful. We love your films, and I think all of us would love to work in your films. I'm open to that. All of us are open, and like Trisha said, there's no language. We all, it's the same.
I think it's a new way. They're rocking everywhere. I think I would say start from Lucia, U-turn, then Garuda Gamna. I think all these films have been fabulous. They're completely redefining Kannada cinema or the opinion about Kannada cinema. The performances are fantastic. The visual, like even Vikram, the visuals were so good. You wonder where were these people so far? Now suddenly everybody is doing fantastic work, and one after the other they're coming up with, it's just not one film and it went away, Kannada cinema is bringing with great films one after the other. I met Trisha 2 days back. He said the part 2 is already, prequel is already started. So I think they're doing a great job, and we're very proud. We're all very proud of that.
Can I also add?
Please, sir, please.
No, I think KGF, I'll answer it very short. What I witnessed, what I noticed, I would say KGF broke the language barrier in India. Kantara broke the religious barrier. I thought belief is the religion. I really thought. I noticed. And to add on to that, not only Kannada movie, RRR is going global now, So everything is being broken. There's one entity which I can see, and it is beautiful. And India is heading to that beautiful space where every one of us is going to be noticed globally, and Kannada cinema has contributed too much to that. Hats off to that, and I would like to act in a Kannada movie.
Thank you so much.
And I'm sorry to add on to that. The love that you shared for PS1, the press and media, you came to Chennai, you gave us so much love and supported us. And for PS2, I heard you guys arrived there and there was some mishap. As a team, we would like to say sorry for that. In spite of that, you are here to support us and to show your love. That shows your nature. Hats off to you all. And please keep supporting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, please. We are done with the questions, please. Okay, now we have to move on. Thank you, dear. Okay, first of all, it's really great to have you guys. Now we have one gift hamper for our beloved four prominent actors. Really, we really enjoyed your gathering here. So we have our PRO Karnataka, PRO Harish Arasu with his gift hamper of toy capital of India, Chenpatnada Bombay ide, Chikmagalurna filter coffee ide, idralli namma sandalwood Mysore soap ide, hagu Mysore Pak ide, Dharwad peda ide. ನಮ್ಮ PRO ಹರೀಶ್ ಅರಸು ಅವರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ PS2 ತಂಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪುಟ್ಟ ಕಿರು ಕಾಣಿಕೆ.
कार इंश्योरेंस होने वाला है अप्रैल में एक्सपायर. एको पे करो रिन्यू. डाउनलोड द एको ऐप नाउ एंड गेट अ कोड टुडे.
ಈಗ ರಜನಿಕಾಂತ್, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಜನಿಕಾಂತ್ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಪುಟ್ಟ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಇದೆ.